For me, I think the most important thing is that the environment and how we treat the environment is our future. And so if we decide to treat it badly and if we decide not to be responsible for our actions, then there will be no future.
Clearly, one of the biggest environmental concerns all of us have at the moment is climate change. And that's come through very strongly all through the last year, particularly in Commonwealth discussions by finance ministers, by environment ministers, by heads of government. It's a really major issue, especially for our member states, who I think are the heartland of the concern. They're the most vulnerable to climate change impacts.
We have to be concerned about the rainforests and the diminishing of those rainforests. We have to be concerned about logging. We've got to be concerned about fish stocks wherever they are. We have to be concerned about the tundra in northern Canada, more floods in places like Bangladesh. So, you know, anywhere we look, we are really seeing continuing environmental problems.
Available evidence shows that climate change will impact on agricultural productivity in the tropics. It will lead to decreased water levels in arid and semi-arid areas. It will promote incidences of pests and diseases across the world. And when you consider that poor people that are already disadvantaged are going to be affected again by climate change, then it is more than an environmental issue. It also has a development implication. And that is why it is such a matter of huge importance to the Commonwealth.
As a result of climate change and the rising sea levels have had an impact with the tsunami and in flooding, not only in Asia but in the Caribbean. Probably the biggest is obviously going to be the tsunami, and closely followed by Pakistan earthquake, if you can say one is any bigger than the other. The tsunami, the work we were primarily involved in was in the Maldives, in the secondary reconstruction phase, in the deployment of 23 medical doctors to support healthcare services. But the impact on the populations was immediate in as much as their loss of livelihood.
The science behind climate change, while we have learned a lot, there's still more to be learned. But what we know so far allows us to put together programs that are of particular relevance to Commonwealth countries.
We work with our member states to help them to manage and use natural resources very effectively. We help them to delimit their maritime boundaries, for example, so that they can have control over the natural resources around them. We help them with mining agreements.
We have worked with the Secretariat of the Pacific Community to develop a regional strategic plan for sustainable fisheries management in the Pacific. We are open to be able to assist people, one, to conserve appropriately an important resource, but also to be able to use it sustainably over a long period of time.
Yeah, the Lake Victoria plan was very much developed by our heads of government in Kampala, well, right alongside Lake Victoria in Uganda. It was, one, helping developing countries manage international negotiations, which can affect much of their environment. It is using this massive Commonwealth network of organisations to really encourage the dialogue and information sharing.
I think we really need to remember that the environment is our key resource for development, and I think that's why the Commonwealth is really interested in this concern. It's the basis for our well-being. It provides our shelter, it provides the food we eat, and it provides the resources from which we can develop our economies.
If we want to claim that, yeah, we're young people and you should listen to us and we have a voice, then we need to also take a responsibility. That's the change. That's where we can actually make a difference. The environment and how we treat it now is our future.